Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
We will build a great wall. I'm going to go out and look at them personally. I'm going to pick the right one. By the way, the wall is happening, folks, okay? Believe me.
In just a few hours, President Trump will arrive at San Diego's border to see the progress on one of his biggest campaign promises, 8 border wall prototypes now under construction.
We need to cross the border! The border crossed us!
Protests started in advance of the president's visit. We have team coverage reporters covering those in support of the plan as well as those against it. We're also live where Air Force One will be touching down this morning.
Good morning. Jason Martinez and Virginia Cha here at 6 a.m. And we want to get right to this breaking news this morning. President Trump just announcing on Twitter that Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is out.
Kalina Srinas has been tracking this bombshell announcement since it broke just about 15 minutes ago. Kalina, give us some more details here.
Yeah, so this is, of course, a new development, and one of the first tweets we saw online was this one right here from the Washington Post saying just what you said. Trump out, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is out, and they will replace him with CIA Director Mike Pompeo. Now, Donald Trump actually tweeting this morning as well, saying that Rex Tillerson, thanking him for his service, I should say, and saying that Mike Pompeo, the former director of the CIA, will do a fantastic job. Also going on to tweet that Gina Haspel will become the new director of the CIA and the first woman to do so, congratulating all of them. Now, these changes come during very delicate negotiations with North Korea, something we are going to continue to track for you all morning, and I'm continuing to track the president's Twitter feed as well. Guys?
Yeah, and of course, a lot of nuance here, Kalina. You've been tracking the Secretary of State, of course, as the head of the State Department, deals with the president's foreign policy with every country conceivable from North Korea to Mexico, and so this is a very delicate position. So it's interesting the timing of when he decided to make this move.
All right, let's get over to Melissa Messiha now because we are tracking rain this evening as well. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning. Yeah, we have several chances of rain here throughout the week. Tuesday morning, your downtown Skycam here. You can see we are starting off a bit cloudy here. It's going to be a mix of sun and clouds as we do continue on with our day. 60 degrees right now, calm winds. That sunrise officially at 7:01 this morning. So hour by hour here, the morning expected to be dry. The rain chances going to increase as we get into our afternoon and then evening hours. Along the coast, we should reach the upper 60s today for your high. Our inland valleys looking at the lower 70s. When I return, I'll show you where we're dealing with some visibility issues. Jason and Virginia.
Well, let's take a look right now at your time-saver traffic. I'm having some difficulty right now hearing, but we do have some road work for you that is still happening out on the 8 right at Lake Murray. Still trying to clear that up, and we saw that crash toward the center of your screen. You can see it on the 163 here southbound, right at the 5 freeway. So this backup right now from about the 8, that crash still in the right lane. Your speeds here down to about 13 miles per hour. Also slowing down this morning on the 805 northbound down to about 30 miles per hour as well. Jason?
And back to our coverage of President Trump's visit to San Diego happening today. He is here to tour border wall prototypes, and this visit brings an end to really the longest stretch any modern president has gone without visiting California.
The administration and our state, as you probably already know, have often been at odds. The White House says the president has just been busy. 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala live at MCAS Miramar, where the president's plane will be landing in about almost 5 hours. Mimi, that's just the beginning of his day here.
It is, Virginia, Jason. So the president will land here at MCAS Miramar around 11:30 this morning, but as soon as he touches down, he'll be headed right over to Brown Field. Once there, the president will then be flown to Otay Mesa to tour the controversial border wall prototypes. After touring the prototypes and possibly choosing his favorite, President Trump will then head back here to Miramar around 2 p.m. and give a speech to members of the military. When asked why it's taken so long for Trump to visit California, his press secretary Sarah Sanders said it's because he's been busy growing the economy, creating jobs, and defeating ISIS. The last time he was in San Diego was in 2016 before he was elected president, and this was the scene downtown outside of one of his campaign events, protests getting violent and dozens of people arrested. So we're hoping things go a little smoother this time around. As soon as he leaves San Diego, he'll be heading right over to Los Angeles for a fundraiser event there. Of course, we'll bring you all of this live here on 10 News. For now, we're live at Miramar. Mimi Alcala, 10 News.
Thank you, Mimi. as Mimi mentioned, after first landing at MCAS Miramar, President Trump will be heading to Otay Mesa to look at those 8 border wall prototypes which were built last year.
Companies using everything from concrete and steel to other materials, each one between 18 and 30 feet high. Border Patrol agents have tested the prototypes to see how easy it would be to break through or even climb over.
Estimates put the cost of a border wall at close to $22 billion. How to pay for that remains unclear. The president has, of course, asked Congress to foot some of the bill, but that is still a hurdle. He's also suggested Mexico pay for the wall. Of course, that hasn't panned out either. Now, there will be several protests today, both in support of the president's visit and against it. They're spread out around the country, the county,
that's right. And 10 News anchor Mary McKenzie live downtown, where people against the border wall will be gathering there this morning. And it could be a big crowd today, Mary.
And Jason, Virginia, protesters were already out yesterday as an indication of what to expect today on the streets downtown. They're protesting both the border wall and the president's visit.
I wish he wouldn't come. He's suing our state. You know, he doesn't like our state, so he should, like, not come. Most people don't want the wall.
Protesters in the streets, also in Chicano Park, including DACA recipients, some from countries other than Mexico. They came to Chicano Park yesterday to protest the proposed border wall and the president's visit today. The rally downtown today will start at 9:30 this morning near the IRS building, specifically calling out the president for promising that Mexico would pay for the border wall, but now asking Congress to fund $25 billion to build it. And there are some other protests happening today. You're probably seeing them now. One is at 11 a.m. in San Ysidro at Mount Carmel Church. At 5:30 as well, there will be one at San Diego's Waterfront Park. This one here at Front and F Streets. We're live downtown. Mary McKenzie, 10 News.
Mary, thank you. And ahead of the president's tour, look at this. Traffic restrictions are in place near the border. You will not be able to park within that red highlighted portion of Otay Mesa. The area runs from Via de la Armistad to Airway Road. The restrictions are in place through Friday. And there are also restrictions for protesters. You cannot bring anything that could be considered a weapon, so keep that in mind. And supporters of Trump and his immigration policies will also be rallying today in Otay Mesa.
That is where 10 News reporter Jared Aarons is live right now. Jared, can you talk about the specific message those supporters want to get across?
Yeah, they want to let the president know that he has people who support him here in San Diego and all across California. They want to give him a very warm welcome, and they will be here in Otay Mesa all morning long. Look, you can see it's already set up and ready for whatever happens this morning. They've got barriers along the street, signs telling people where they can and can't park and where they are and aren't allowed to go. But people have already been out showing the president their support, holding their own signs and waving flags. We've seen members of groups like Fight Sanctuary States, San Diegans for Secure Borders, and the Remembrance Project. They all say that they support the president. They want him to know that he has friends in California. We spoke with one of them yesterday who thinks the president will actually be inspired by what he sees.
I hope he's I hope he says that he's going to secure the border, that we're going to build the wall, that he's going to protect American citizens first, that he cares about the dreams of American citizens and about American dreamers over illegal alien dreamers.
The president's schedule says he won't be down in Otay Mesa to look at the border prototypes until afternoon today, but some of those groups plan to be out here hours before to get ready. Live in Otay Mesa, Jared Aarons, 10 News.
Thank you, Jared. President Trump's visit comes on the heels of the administration suing California. The lawsuit points to 3 state laws saying they obstruct federal immigration enforcement efforts.
It cannot be the policy of a great nation to up and reward those who unlawfully enter its country with legal status, Social Security, welfare, food stamps, work permits, and so forth.
The so-called sanctuary laws limit the cooperation that residents and local officials have to give the federal government when it comes to immigration issues. California's Attorney General, meanwhile, has also been filing lawsuits against the administration. Over the past 14 months, he has filed more than 25 suits over issues ranging from immigration to the environment.
And the lawsuit is just one thing California Governor Jerry Brown mentioned in an open letter to President Trump that he wrote yesterday. He likened the suit to an act of war. This is the letter right right there. Brown also invited Trump to come to the Central Valley in California, where construction is underway to accommodate the state's high-speed rail project.
You can count on 10 News for full coverage of the president's visit here today. You can expect coverage to begin at 11 this morning, just before Air Force One touches down at MCAS Miramar. We'll also have crews at the border for the president's inspection of the wall prototypes, including full coverage on our ABC 10 News Facebook page. So handy if you're not near a TV. We'll be there when the commander-in-chief meets with troops back at Miramar, and then he's leaving about 3 this afternoon for a fundraiser in Los Angeles.
A scary moment last night during 10 News at 11. Reporter Bree Stephan harassed by a man during her live report on the day's protests over the president's visit. That was her report. Now, we want to first tell you she and her photographer, Mike Gold, are okay.
No problem. So what? So.
That was the moment captured on live television there. Police were called, and they're now handling this matter. The man's motive is unclear. We don't know what he was trying to do, but it was apparently unrelated to the story that Bree and Mike were covering last night. So we just want to thank everybody who called, emailed, and tagged us on social media just to check on our crew, make sure they're okay. They are fine, but certainly shaken up after that.
And your well wishes and kind thoughts certainly help them as they're trying to go through this, because it's always startling. I mean, you know that can be a risk, but you're not expecting it.
Exactly, especially when you're concentrated on what you're doing. But the important thing is that both of them are doing well this morning. Now, it is another morning here, expected to be a wet one later on today, but this morning we're also dealing with some fog visibility issues. Let's take you outside here to our graphic at 6:11 in the morning. Ramona has improved a little bit, but still at half a mile, so travel there might be a little hazardous, so just keep that in mind once you hit the roads. We're talking about rain, so the best chance is later on today, and then you could see what it looks like here tomorrow. About 60% chance here during our morning hours. Live look at Julian, where it's quiet here. Sunrise at 7 o'clock. Forecast highs for today, upper 60s there along the coast, lower 70s inland. The desert's still warm. The mountains at 61 degrees. Kalina?
Well, let's take a look right now at our map, and we still have our problem here on the 163 southbound. Now, it did clear from lanes, but there's still a really heavy backup there as you come away from the 8. So keep that in mind as you head southbound. It's down to about 13 miles per hour, and then again, that backup there right at the 8 as well. Now, as you travel out this morning, it's about a 12-minute commute also. Out of the South Bay, 805 and the 5 freeway also loading up. 16-minute ride leaving the 54 to the 8 and the 5 north at 15 minutes as well. Virginia?
Thank you, Kalina. A bombing spree rocking a major U.S. city. Packages placed on people's doorsteps. The clues investigators are now zeroing in on.
The White House blocking Broadcom's bid to take over Qualcomm. We're speaking to an expert on the national security reasons behind the move.
Ever feel frustrated with your boss? Well, the new study that says a voodoo doll could boost your morale.